Okay, the reading for this week is the next part in our series on pre-modern, medieval, early modern Japanese culture, civilization, religion, and so forth. And today we'll be reading excerpts from Nichiren's Rectification for the Peace of the Nation, or the Risshō Ankoku. Okay, so once again, this English translation of the essay is taken from sources of Japanese tradition. William Theodore de Barry, Donald Keene, George Tanabe, and Paul Varley were the editors of this Volume 1, Columbia University Press, 2001. I'll provide the link to this work below in the description, and you can purchase it and follow along there. The PDF worksheet, too, I will give the link below, and this was compiled by somebody at Columbia University. Nichiren, born in 1222, died in 1282. Okay, so this is the Kamakura period. I'll put the dates for the major Japanese eras in the description below as well. Memorize them if you haven't done so already. Remember that the Kamakura period is the period that follows the Heian period, 794 to 1185. Kamakura period, 1185, it starts, ends in 1333. Alright, so Nichiren was a reformer Buddhist monk in Kamakura era Japan who established his own sect, the Nichiren sect, based on devotion to the Lotus Sutra and chanting the title of the sutra Nammu Myoho Renge Kyo. Alright, so the Lotus Sutra. Nammu Myoho Renge Kyo. Nichiren was often controversial and criticized by government authorities because of his prophecies that social problems and natural disasters were based on a failure to adhere to his form of Buddhist practice. So he was a bit of an egomaniac, you might say. He regarded himself as a bodhisattva and thought he was the great savior of Japan. And he regarded himself as a reincarnation of the Bodhisattva Jōgyo. I'll put the link to some more information about the Bodhisattva Jōgyo below in the description, but he regarded himself as the reincarnation of Jōgyo. Keep that in mind as we read this. His last sermon is the following, is this essay, Risshō Ankoku, or On Establishing the Correct Teaching and Pacifying the State, which was written around 1250. So when he was around 28 or so years old at the time, and it's one of his most important treatises. Okay, so let's see, we have just a short excerpt from that essay. Before I read the excerpt, let me read the 3 questions on the study guide. What is Nichiren's view of the nation, of Japan? How does he view Japan? In what state does he find his country, his countrymen? And how does he propose that they should be improved? Question number 2. What does Nichiren say is the impact of Honen's teaching on Japan? Okay, so Honen is one of the great Buddhist priests of the previous era. What is his view of Honen? And number 3, what is Nichiren's alternative to the 10,000 prayers? Okay, so keep these 3 questions in mind as we read the following excerpt from Nichiren's Rectification for the Peace of the Nation, the Risshō Ankoku. The Sutra of the Humane King, or the Nin-no-kyo, states, quote, when a nation becomes disordered, it is the spirits which first show signs of rampancy. Because these spirits become rampant, all the people of the nation become disordered. Invaders come to plunder the country, and the common people face annihilation. The ruler, the high ministers, the heir apparent, and the other princes and government officials all quarrel with each other over right and wrong. Heaven and earth manifest prodigies and strange occurrences. The 28 constellations, the stars, the sun and the moon appear at irregular times and in irregular positions, and numerous outlaws rise up. End quote from the Sutra of the Humane King, or the Nin-no-kyo. And then Nichiren gives his commentary. But because of this book written by Honen, this Senchakushu by Honen, the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni is forgotten, and all honor is paid to Amida, the Buddha of the Western land. The Lord Buddha's transmission of the law, the Dharma, the whole, is ignored, and Yakushi, the Buddha of the eastern region, is neglected. All attention is paid to the 3 works in 4 volumes of the Pure Land, the Jodo scriptures, and all other wonderful teachings that Shakyamuni proclaimed throughout the 5 periods of his preaching life are cast aside. As a result, the halls of the Buddha fall into ruin. Scarcely a wisp of smoke rises above their mossy tiles, and the monks' quarters stand empty and dilapidated, the dew deep on the grasses in their courtyards. And in spite of such conditions, no one gives thought to protecting the law, the Dharma, or to restoring the temples. If people favor perverse doctrines and forget what is correct, can the benevolent deities be anything but angry? If people cast aside doctrines that are all-encompassing and take up those that are incomplete, can the world escape the plots of demons? Rather than offering up 10,000 prayers for remedy, it would be better simply to outlaw this one evil doctrine that is the source of all the trouble. Okay, and that is taken from Jan Polsky's translation of many of Nichiren's writings, and that book is called The Writings of Nichiren, and this essay is included pages 13 to 41 of that book. And then this excerpt was included, as I mentioned above, in Sources of Japanese Tradition. Alright, so we'll discuss this in more detail in class, and we'll go over why he thinks the Buddhism of Honen and others is deficient, and what he offers in it to replace it. That is all for now. See you in class. Goodbye.